There's only been one race so far in 2023, and already McLaren look like they're way behind the pace. Pair that with an underwhelming test and Zak Brown stating that McLaren are not where they want to be, and it's not looking good for Oscar Piastri's new F1 team. Compare that with Alpine's first race weekend, the team we initially thought Piastri would race for, and they're looking a lot better. So did Oscar Piastri make the wrong choice? McLaren had a disastrous start to the season at Bahrain, while Lando Norris had a frustrating race after experiencing a pneumatic system issue that forced him to pit 6 times and eventually retire from the race. This was probably the worst possible start for McLaren, with a double DNF due to reliability issues in only the first race. Pre-season testing in Bahrain was not good for McLaren either, as the team appeared to be struggling to find their footing. The car looked jittery and difficult to drive, and while lap times are generally not the best indicator of performance during testing, McLaren looked well off the pace. In addition to these on-track issues, McLaren's CEO Zak Brown has publicly acknowledged that the team has missed its development targets going into the first race of the season. He remains optimistic about future improvements, but it's clear that McLaren is once again playing catch-up and hoping that their drivers over-deliver in a car that's not as good as it should be. The loss of Andrea Seidl, who left to join Sauber and later Audi, has also raised some alarm bells. While McLaren has appointed Andrea Stella as Seidl's replacement, it's natural to wonder whether Seidl's departure suggests that he believed McLaren's project has run its course or lacked promise. Additionally, the absence of technical director James Key during testing raises further questions about the team's direction. Perhaps most worrying is the demeanor of Lando Norris during testing. He didn't appear to be driving a car that he thinks can compete for race wins or even podiums. While it's too early to write off McLaren completely, the fact that they are once again holding on to one of the most talented drivers on the grid without giving him a car that he can showcase his abilities in is disappointing. Partner with Lando Norris is rookie Oscar Piastri, who looks to be one of the most exciting young talents on the grid. After the whole "I won't be driving for Alpine next season" fiasco on Twitter last year, Piastri announced his decision to drive for McLaren instead. But with McLaren's horrible start to the season and no signs of it getting any better, it's natural to question whether Piastri made the right decision, or would he be better off driving for Alpine? Although it wasn't as bad as McLaren's start to the season, Alpine didn't have the greatest first race either. Pierre Gasly made an impressive debut for Alpine, claiming 2 points by finishing in 9th place after starting from last position. Meanwhile, Esteban Ocon suffered a disappointing race, retiring with 16 laps to go after his race was compromised from the start by a 5-second time penalty for not lining up on his grid correctly. A collision with Lando Norris on the opening lap damaged his front wing, leading to 2 pit stops in the first 15 laps. He was then given a further penalty for not serving his first penalty correctly, before a third infringement for speeding in the pit lane added to his frustrations. So overall, it was a mixed day for Alpine at the Bahrain Grand Prix. However, it was still better than McLaren. So after one race, it does seem as though Alpine is the better of the two teams. McLaren looked disappointing once again this season, and it doesn't seem as though much improvement and development is on the way. Alpine looked much better, Pierre's 20th to 9th performance indicating that Alpine are capable of moving up the grid. Although it remains to be seen which team will be better over the course of the season, right now, I think Piastri made the wrong choice.